Hey, beautiful souls. Welcome back to my mind space. I'm Tenny, and thank you so much for sharing this space with me today. So, lately, I've been thinking a lot about the word strong. How easily people use it, how often it's placed on our shoulders, and how quickly it becomes a burden we never agreed to carry. So, today's episode, I'm going to be debunking the word strong and redefining the word resilience, because I'm realizing I don't want to be labeled a strong woman in the way the world defines it. I just want to be human. I just want to be present and ultimately to be whole. I know we've all had those moments when someone looks at us and say, "Wow, you're so strong." And instead of feeling uplifted, you feel more exhausted because you've been labeled strong. The truth is, for a long time, I thought strength meant holding everything together, constantly carrying the load and figuring it out, not expressing my emotions or asking for help, pushing through the pain, keeping calm while the world around me falls apart. But lately, life has humbled me into a new understanding. Strength was a cover-up, but resilience is the truth underneath it all. Because being labeled strong became a role performance, a role we all perform unconsciously, and resilience is who we were becoming consciously through it all. We've been told strength means holding it all together, and resilience is about pushing through it and never letting the cracks show. But what if resilience is not about being unbreakable, but it's more about being the willingness to break and still return to yourself whole? Strength, as the world defines it, can be heavy. It normally asks us to be silent. It silences our tears, to harden our hearts, to keep moving even when we're so exhausted and weary. But resilience whispers something softer. Resilience whispers, you can rest, you can bend, you can feel, and still you will rise. Resilience is not the absence of pain, it's the presence of grace within pain. It's those quiet decisions to keep opening even when closing feels safer. It's the courage to remain tender in a world that rewards being hard. True resilience is not about proving yourself. It's about returning to yourself. It's about remembering that survival is not the same as living, but choosing to live is resilience even after the storm. The truth is, the world around us uses strength, and the world around us doesn't leave space for softness. The world rewards and celebrates endurance but ignores exhaustion. Resilience, though, is rooted in truth. Resilience is a soft power. Resilience is recovering. Resilience is renewal. Resilience is honesty. Over the last few years of my life has helped me redefine resilience, and I've learned that my resilience was never about being unbreakable, but it was more about my willingness to rise again after the storm. My willingness to rise again even in the moments where grief showed up unexpectedly, even when old attachments resurface in my dreams, even when someone else's chaos tries to pull me back. Resilience to me is choosing peace instead of engaging, resilience to me is choosing silence instead of reacting. Resilience to me is grounding myself before responding. Resilience to me is trusting that what aligns with me will not pass me by, and ultimately refusing to let my past dictate my present. That's what resilience feels to me. Quiet, steady, and trustful. Even when I think of resilience, I don't picture a warrior in battle. I picture a flower growing through the concrete. I picture a child learning to laugh again after a loss. I picture myself sitting in silence, allowing the ache to exist and trusting that the ache will not define me. Resilience isn't loud, and it doesn't demand applause. It is quiet and very deeply human. It's the art of becoming whole, even when the pieces doesn't fit the way they used to be anymore. The truth is, I'm learning to unapologetically release the pressure of being labeled strong. Learning that I don't have to always figure it out. I don't have to always be okay. I don't have to constantly carry everyone else's expectation of me, because resilience does not require me to pretend. When we think about it and we strip away the layers, resilience is a spiritual practice. It's that act of surrender, not to struggle. It's knowing that even when the ground shakes, you are still being held. It's trusting that your softness isn't weakness, it's wisdom. To be resilient is to trust that your strength is still unfolding, that your cracks are not failures or openings, and your tears are not signs of defeat, but they're rivers carrying you back to yourself. Resilience isn't about being strong, it's about being true. The truth is always enough. If you're listening to this and you've been labeled strong, the strong one, most of your life, all your life, I want to remind you this. You're allowed to break. You're allowed to rest. You are allowed to not have it all figured out. You're allowed to ask for help and receive help willingly. You're allowed to just be and feel. Your humanity is not weakness. Your softness is not fragility. Because resilience isn't about surviving the storm. It's about the life you build after the storm. As you move through the week, I invite you to ask yourself this. Where am I performing being strong? And where can I allow myself to become resilient instead? Let that answer guide you. Let that answer soften you. Let that answer free you. Remember, resilience isn't about being beyond pain. It's about being beyond the illusion that pain defines you. You're not strong because you never break. You are resilient because you keep becoming. You are simply more than strong. You are resilient. Until next time, stay soft, stay grounded, and keep redefining resilience for yourself.